Hey explorer, are you ready to embark on an intriguing and thought-provoking journey into the wonders of the human body? Let's get going. Picture this. You're a lone survivor, stranded in a vast and deserted island. The plane you were in now lies in scattered debris all around you. As hours pass, your grief and shock are soon overcome by the will to survive. Thirst comes first, so you explore this unfamiliar land until you reach a small pool of water. You take a drink, and when the liquid meets your parched lips, a momentary reprieve washes over you. Soon, however, the gnawing pangs of hunger begin. Your stomach growls, a stark reminder that you need to seek food, and weakness seeps into your limbs. The world around you blurs as dizziness and fatigue start to take hold. Now, that's not an ideal scenario, is it? Does this story have you starting to ponder, how long can you survive without food? Join us as we dive into the intricacies of the human body to explore the answer to this vital question. First and foremost, let's dive into how crucial this fuel is for your body. Food. Let's imagine it's a lazy Sunday afternoon, you're chilling at home, catching up on your favorite TV show. A delightful aroma starts wafting through the air. Your mom's in the kitchen baking some scrumptious cookies. Your mouth drools. Your stomach rumbles, craving a warm, moist, and gooey chocolate chip cookie. Soon the TV show fades from your focus as the irresistible desire for the freshly baked treat takes over. Hungry, huh? Your hunger. It's like an unstoppable nagger, isn't it? Always there, reminding you it's time to refuel your body. It's that relentless sidekick you can't ignore. Your hunger plays a three-character role. First, the food craving phase hits you. Your brain goes wild, daydreaming about the sweet sensation of carbohydrates. Picture those sweet, delicious-smelling cookies dancing in your thoughts. Next, it's the food-seeking phase. You turn into a fearless kitchen explorer, sneaking in for that baked delight before your mom catches you red-handed. And finally, the food consumption phase. You sink your teeth into that moist, gooey chocolate chip cookie and relish every chew. Sounds satisfying, right? Well, that jumbo-sized cookie you just devoured is not just a treat, it's like a little power boost. You're taking in approximately 26 calories from carbs, 10 calories from fat, and around 2 calories from proteins. So that cookie isn't just tasty, it's keeping your body's engine running. You see, foods contain 3 important components known as macronutrients. These macronutrients are proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Carbohydrates, or carbs, as they're commonly known, are your body's primary fuel source. They provide the instant energy for your muscles and nervous system during movement or exercise. Proteins are essential for many of the body's function and processes. It provides structure to your tissues, such as muscles, skin, and bones, and are super important for your hormones, metabolic, and enzyme systems to function properly and efficiently. You also need to consume plenty of protein if you want to build muscle. Fats get a bad rap, but did you know that fat is vital for your body? It acts as an energy reserve. It aids in the absorption and transport of fat-soluble vitamins. It insulates and protects your organs, and it supports your hormonal health as well. Healthy fats are very important in our diet. Not too much though. In order for the foods you eat to be used by your cells, your body needs to break down carbohydrates into glucose, fats into fatty acids and glycerol, and protein into amino acids, and each of these has its own way of delivering energy. Carbs, the sprinters, give you those quick bursts of energy. Proteins and fats, much like the seasoned marathoner, provide energy for the long run. Now let's take a moment to zoom in on glucose, the powerhouse of energy for your organs and tissues. Did you know that your workaholic brain, which is active even when you're asleep, sucks 45 to 60% of glucose energy? That's about 130 grams out of 200 grams of glucose per day. That's kind of a VIP treatment, isn't it? But here's the cool part. When the glucose demand is high, your body has a smart backup plan called gluconeogenesis. Instead of converting carbs into glucose, it can actually form glucose from proteins and fats, storing it as glycogen in muscles and the liver. It's like your body's emergency stash, ensuring glucose homeostasis, a vital survival strategy. Just imagine if it didn't exist. You'd be on a non-stop eating spree just to keep up with your brain's insatiable appetite. Did you ever think about this? Your body, a safe home for 100 trillion cells, is always busy breaking down and rebuilding as part of its metabolic routine. And your organs and tissues are on a constant renewal spree, like a never-ending cycle of rejuvenation. For instance, your skin renews itself every 27 days. Red blood cells have a lifespan of about 120 days, and your liver can fully regenerate in approximately 6 weeks. While the taste buds in your tongue last around 10 to 14 days, the lining of your lungs renews within 2 to 3 weeks, and the mucus lining of your stomach and small intestine every 3 to 5 days. Your bone tissue undergoes continuous remodeling. However, the complete turnover of bone takes several years. The nutrients in your food provide the raw materials for your cells to carry out these vital processes. Isn't the body amazing? Now that you understand that food is more than a mere hunger buster, let's explore. What happens when you go without food? When your body doesn't receive enough calories to sustain its regular life-supporting functions, it enters a state known as starvation. This can occur due to severe food restriction, or if a person's body is unable to digest food to absorb essential nutrients. You need calories even when resting through basic life-sustaining functions like breathing, circulation, nutrient processing, and cell renewal. This is known as basal metabolic rate. You might have heard the term BMR. Starving to death is not an overnight occurrence, it's a gradual process. When the human body is severely deprived of calories, it starts functioning differently to reduce the amount of energy it burns. It undergoes 3 distinct metabolic phases in an attempt to stay alive until nourished. Phase 1. Glucose burning or glycolysis. It takes about 24 hours without eating for your body to change how it produces energy. Normally, your body uses glucose, or sugar, as its main source of energy. When you don't eat, your glucose reserves are used up within 1 day. Liver glycogen, about 100 to 120 grams, is nearly depleted 12 to 18 hours after eating, and your brain consumes 25% of total glucose. As glucose becomes scarce, the body turns to fatty acids, initiating the fat-burning phase. The liver metabolizes fatty acids, producing ketone bodies that replace glucose as the main energy source. Your brain adjusts its glucose requirement from 130 grams to about 30 grams, preferring processed ketone bodies, smaller than fatty acids, which easily breach the blood-brain barrier. Continuous deprivation of vital nutrients leads to feelings of depression, anxiety, lethargy, and social withdrawal, with difficulties in cognitive thinking. This phase can last from days to weeks. Dr. Nancy Zucker, director of the Duke Center for Eating Disorders at Duke University, suggests that women might have a survival advantage due to higher percentage of stored body fat, and the same applies to anyone with high fat stores. Phase 3. Protein breakdown. The third and final phase of starvation begins when your fat stores are depleted and the body turns to its ultimate reserves, proteins. Your body initiates a process of internal self-cannibalism called catabolysis, feeding on its muscles for proteins, including the heart. Things rapidly go downhill as your body consumes even the least vital cells, holding out hope for more food. When the body has exhausted all available glucose, fatty acids, and protein, including muscle mass, there's nowhere left to turn, and the end is imminent. At this stage, your body is severely deficient in vitamins and minerals, with substantial weight loss and a weakened immune system, making it susceptible to various threats. The ultimate cause of death during starvation often comes in the form of cardiac arrest, a consequence of excessive tissue degradation. So how long can you survive without food? As a survival rule of thumb, humans can go without oxygen for about 3 to 4 minutes, without water for 3 to 4 days, and without food for 3 to 4 weeks. But you know, our body's remarkable capabilities and that stubborn survival spirit we've got can pull off some pretty extraordinary stuff. The average person might hang in there for 3 to 4 weeks, not grabbing a single bite. But here's the kicker. It's all about the circumstances and physiological factors like your age, gender, health, activity levels, and hydration. It's like your bodies have this whole survival playbook, and it's more than just watching the clock tick. However, Hydration plays a pivotal role, and an interesting study published in Scientific American suggests that, during prolonged periods of starvation, individuals may need approximately 1.5 liters of water daily for survival. Additionally, the study recommends adding up to half a teaspoon of salt per day to the water, emphasizing the importance of maintaining electrolyte balance in such extreme conditions. Oh, you wouldn't believe some of the survival stories out there. People going for weeks without any food and still pushing through, revealing our body's remarkable resilience. Did you hear about Peter Skalberg, the 44-year-old man from Sweden? He survived 2 whole months in a snow-buried car, just eating snow. Can you imagine that? That's crazy, right? Experts believe being stuck in that tight space helped him save calories, and the isolation of being stuck in the snow alone also would have protected his weakened immune system from potentially deadly infections. That's amazing. In 2006, Japanese hiker Mitsutaka Ichikoshi survived 24 days without food after going missing during a climbing trip in western Japan. When rescued, his body temperature was 22 degrees Celsius, nearly 15 degrees below normal. Despite severe hypothermia and other health complications, Uchikoshi made a miraculous recovery, leaving doctors puzzled over his remarkable resilience. And then there's Rita Kreshin, surviving 50 days in the Nevada wilderness on trail mix and stream water. David Blaine, the illusionist, did a 44-day stunt in a glass box with no food but a gallon of water every day. Oh, and Mahatma Gandhi's 21-day hunger strike on sips of water during civil disobedience in the 1940s. One of the most amazing stories is from 1966. The British man named Angus Barbieri accomplished an astounding feat by surviving for 382 days with no solid food. During this period, he consumed only tea, coffee, water, soda water, and vitamins. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, his weight dropped significantly from 456 to 180 pounds. Can you believe it? But let's think about a real survival situation. Waiting 382 days for food? Not gonna happen for most of us. And who's got a stash of soda water and vitamins lying around? Plus, surviving without food in a comfy, temperature-controlled space is a whole different ballgame compared to roughing it in the wilderness. Cold nights, stress, it would take a toll, wouldn't it? These incredible stories showcase the remarkable resilience of the human body, revealing its ability to endure and survive diverse environmental conditions and stress. But in critical situations, survival isn't always the same for everyone. It really depends on personalities. Some individuals might succumb to the catastrophe real quick, while others exhibit a more hopeful and resourceful attitude. As Hal Lindsey rightly puts it, man can live about 40 days without food, about 3 days without water, about 8 minutes without air, but only for 1 second without hope. What do you think?